Leadership is an active sport. Daniel C. Comeaux. When Daniel Comeaux said leadership is an active sport, he likely meant that leadership isn't something passive, theoretical, or done from the sidelines. It requires constant engagement, presence, and effort. Here's how that idea breaks down. Active, not passive. Leadership means making decisions, communicating, and taking responsibility every day. It's not a title you just hold. It's something you do. Participation, not observation. Like a sport, you have to be in the game, working alongside your team, adapting to challenges, and responding in real time. Continuous learning and practice. Athletes train, adjust. They push themselves. Leaders must keep growing, learning from mistakes, and improving their approach, energy, and presence. Just as players can't sit out if they have to influence the outcome of the game, leaders can't be disengaged. They have to be visible, accessible, and proactive, team-oriented. In sports, success depends on your teamwork. In leadership, the same applies. You succeed by motivating, coaching, and bringing out the best in others. In short, Comeaux is underscoring that leadership is dynamic, hands-on, and demands ongoing effort, much like playing a sport rather than just watching from the sidelines. Today's message on leadership will be from Dallas PD's boss. We are proud to start up a new series of episodes we are calling Go Time with Chief Comeaux.
But it's all those other people who really, really want us and show us the love. And you got to think about those. And it just makes the job so much fun to do because you know you're making a difference. And that has driven me to be the very best. So my goal is for us to be the best police department in the United States. Let's give everybody the recognition who's actually done the work. I'm not out there doing the work. I'm just giving you the ability to do the work. I want to highlight who's actually doing the work. Everything's about a sport. We want to win the championship. Leadership's an active sport. How do you win a championship? It's by teamwork. I'm looking forward, and I think we're going to make Dallas PD even better than what it was. You know, my thing is, hey, let's put out the facts. Dallas is kicking butt. We're keeping everybody safe here in Dallas.
Chief Comeaux, thanks for coming back on with us.
Excited to be here.
All right, I want to welcome on my co-hosts. We got Danny Canetti on the mic, as well as Kent Wolverton's back. He's still on his performance plan. We may keep him.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, we want to start up these new episodes to kind of give, and they're going to be hyper-focused on certain topics, and the topic today is going to be leadership. And we're going to call it Go Time with Chief Comeaux.
I like that.
Yeah, okay. I got to ask you, are you having fun yet?
Man, I'm every morning when I wake up, I'm excited to go to work. Like I'm fired up again. Completely fired up to be here.
What about it most, though, that excites you getting in here?
Something different every day. Law enforcement, you never know what's going to happen, especially at the chief level. You hear so many different things every single day, and, from the leadership standpoint, but then also, trying to do what's right. And it's something different every single day. Like, you don't see the same thing 2 days in a row.
You don't see the same from hour here in Dallas. It changes.
I agree. And, you don't know where it's coming from. One day it's coming all the way from the right. Next day it's all the way from the left. And it'll slap you in the middle.
Yeah. There's a lot of daggers coming out for the top.
But it's fun. I try to grab them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I eat them.
So leadership, speaking of leadership, I want you to talk about your style, because I listened to you speak at the last promotion ceremony, the big one that just happened, and I heard a lot of key words like empowering. Can you talk about that?
Empowering's my biggest word for leadership. You have to be able to empower everyone that's on the command staff, and you want to give that empowerment all the way down to patrol officers. You want the patrol officer to be able to speak the truth. You want them to feel like they're a part, that they have a say, that they have an input. And I feel like when you have leadership that goes all the way to the patrol officer, you're going to win. And for me, everything's about a sport. You know, my famous quote for me is leadership's an active sport, and everything's about a sport. We want to win the championship. How do you win a championship? It's by teamwork. It's not one guy at the top that's telling everybody what to do. It's someone at the top that's willing to listen to everyone to figure out what's best to do.
How did you develop this leadership style?
You know, watching the good and watching the bad. And the bad is really important, because when you watch bad, you want to make sure you put that in the toolbox to make sure you don't do it. So I try to grab all the bad leadership styles that I've seen over the years to make sure I don't do those. And then I'll grab one good from everyone and put in the toolbox to make sure I do them.
So we just sat down with one of your good friends and former bosses, David Downing. What from his leadership style that the listener have not heard it yet, but what did you take away from his leadership style?
Empowerment. Look, Dave was the one who pretty much said, hey, it's your shop, run it. Let me know what I need to know. Let me know if you can't make a decision, and then I'll make a decision. But if you don't need me, just tell me what I need to know. And I absolutely loved it. I was, when I was working for him, I was over LA Haida. I was over Riverside, the state of Nevada, Hawaii, Guam, and Saipan. And it was mine. And he allowed me to run it. And I just needed to let him know what he wanted to know. Of course, he took all the credit for all the good stuff.
Of course, yeah.
As any great leader would do, right?
Absolutely. Speaking of,
I've got a little note here for you. It says, Chief Comeaux's leadership style can be summed up in one word: steady. He has an amazing ability to remain calm when the storm is at epic proportion. Never will you see him get too high or low. Steady is the course of his leadership practice. Your friend David Downing.
Yeah. Well, he hit something. One of the things that I always tell everyone, it could be the greatest day in the world, and I'm happy. I'm glad. But my voice is going to stay the same. It could be one of the worst days in the world. I'm sad. I'm down. My voice is going to be the same.
Yeah, we had a conversation last night, and he actually said that in the eye of the storm, that you don't get rattled, and you always that your voice never gets raised.
Yeah. It's something that I've worked on over the years, and so it's interesting. Let me tell you where that came from. Came back, probably was like 92, 93. I was working patrol, and there was a murder suspect, and I was up in homicide. I'm pretty much a rookie officer, and the suspect looked at me when he saw me walk in there, and he said, you know, you should thank God. And I looked at him like, why? He said, because I was going to kill you today. Kind of was like, huh? He said, but I couldn't get opportunity because you never screamed. You never yelled. You told me to get on the ground, and I kept looking for an opportunity for you to lose your cool. You never gave me that opportunity. So I let you live. And after that, I was like, whoa. So I never raised my voice on the scene. I talk to you just like this. I can be human in the inside, but on the outside, this is what you're going to see every time.
That's a good quality to have.
It was tough. But,
no, I bet it is.
But that moment of him telling me, I wanted to kill you, but I didn't see the opportunity. After that, same way for the rest of my life. My wife hates it.
Right.
Because I use it on her to this day.
She's like poking with a stick. Come on, do something. Yeah.
I always win arguments like that because I never get, too high or too low.
That's good quality, man. Good leaders regularly checks up on their people to motivate. How do you motivate your leaders?
Look, motivation to me is easy. It comes to the empowerment. Because when I give you the ability to run your shop, I give you the ability to lead from the front the motivation, that tends to go hand in hand. And, again, when you go back to the sports, it's like, how do you get the team to do the best? And you motivate them just by saying little things. And a lot of it still comes down to, hey, you're the one that controls this. I'm here to support you, to give you what you need, but you control it. And that motivation just comes.
Can you tell us about a time whenever you look back and you think, man, I was there for that individual and their career, and I helped them get to where they're at?
Yeah. Roy Firestone, this is not going to happen, all right? So, he's the Roy Firestone of Law Enforcement Podcast. If you don't know what that means, just Google it.
Watch Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, so there was, in times a little bit different between DEA and the way the PD works, but there was this one individual that had been arrested twice in his career, and I came across him and had other agents who I believed in and trusted said, hey, man, this is a good agent. He's down right now. He's really down, and you need someone to pick him up. And I kind of looked at him, talked to him, met him on the weekend. We started walking around the park together, walking around Lake Merritt, hanging out, getting to know each other a little bit better, and I felt like he was worth fighting for. And after having 2 DWIs, he's clean, and we got him into treatment, and he's doing a phenomenal job as an agent now. And there's nothing better when you see someone going down that rabbit hole that could lose their career. When you lose your career, you lose the way to make money. Everything can go down, and you don't know where it ends. And he's a phenomenal agent to this day.
That's got to be a good feeling.
Wow, it's an amazing feeling. It really is.
You saved a life.
In his situation, and I know the backdrop because his family depends on him as the breadwinner. And I'm not just talking about his immediate family. I'm talking about his brothers and sisters depend on him. It really was saving more than one life. But it was because I had other agents telling me this agent's worth fighting for. And when they told me that, I took the time out to find out for myself. And I quickly realized this guy's worth fighting for. And I remember, and this is bad, but it's the way I think. I remember when he was telling me the story about his second DWI. I remember saying, man, why did you had a single car accident. Why didn't you just walk away? And he was like, well, I don't know. I think I was so drunk I didn't walk away. Or it could have just been, I knew it was wrong to walk away. And I remember thinking, if he would have called me that night, maybe I would have picked him up and taken him home. And that wouldn't have fixed the problem. It would have created more problems for us down the road because it would have been found out that it happened. It would have come out at some point. But because that didn't happen, we were able to get him help, get him in a center, get him treatment. And man, he's flying high.
Is that the individual that you actually drove there yourself?
Yeah, it is. Did I tell you that before?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, you
I was about to say, man, this guy's listening to my phones.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
I'm not that good. No, I remember because, you happen to be sitting in the wellness unit, and one of our big policies we like to champion is our alcohol leave policy. Easily double-digit people coming up on, we're pushing the 20 mark of people that have actually come forward and utilized this department's policy to check themselves in.
In what, 2 years?
A little over 2
or
years.
a year and a half. Year and a half.
No, it was a little 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep. That's big, and your support is it just sounds like you're just gonna put the pedal down on that, and you never know what life in a career you could save, just like you did your friend.
Look, we have to try to save anyone who wants to be saved. We have to be there to help them.
Or what if you call it empowering people to save themselves?
Well, that's good. I like it. but we have to be there to sometimes nudge and push and turn them in the right direction. Sometimes you can't do it all by yourself.
Right.
You need to know you have support.
Love it. Well, sorry, Mr. Downing, I didn't get him on that question.
I'm not Dave.
I've noticed though he is trying to stay as level as he can right here.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's. I'm watching his eyes twitch. I want to get into these big moves you just made in Dallas PD. I mean, I've been here since '97. I have never seen this many promotions and movement in one day. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, look, it was exciting times for me. So it all started really from listening. And I told everybody when I got here, I was going to look, listen, and learn. And one thing, as I was growing up as an officer and as an agent, I really didn't care to see upper management much. I just wanted to do my job. Like I wouldn't seek out the chief or the special agent in charge. It's not something I did. I wanted to stay away from them as much as possible. I just wanted to put people in jail. But one thing that I've learned since being here, people want some FaceTime with the chief. And anytime they can get a moment to have a conversation, they would take that moment. And but some of it was really good information. And it was pointing me in a direction that I should be looking. And for me, being an outsider, it was needed. And I appreciated what some of the officers were telling me. And I would listen. And then I would take it back to the sixth floor and ask questions. And I think sometimes you learn, hey, that was a really good question to ask, because maybe it either rattled a cage or it made someone think, and they'd come back with an answer. And I would take notes. And I was taking a lot of notes. And then I started putting a board together of saying, who should I promote? And one of the things I wanted to do on this first promotion, I wanted everyone to look at the list and look at those who got promoted and say, man, that's a good officer. That officer has done it. They've done it in the field. They've done it at different levels. They've touched various bases, and they deserve it. And I feel like I accomplished that.
Yeah, I heard about the big board.
Yeah.
Bunch of magnets. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and it moved often.
Yeah, I bet it did. So that selection process, how long did that go on? Of all the movement, up on the board, off the board, back up, moving over here.
Really, it started from day one of me getting here. When I say it started from day one, I started looking for those, not necessarily who was going to be loyal to me, but who's going to be loyal to the chair, the department, and the city. That's what's important to me. You don't need to be my friend. You don't need to be loyal to me, but be loyal to that seat, the department, and the city, and be able to make sure that you're going to take care of your people. Like, I need those who are going to uplift and pull people. If you're selfish, you're not going to be on my team. And the ones who I looked at and I felt like it was all about themselves, they're not on my team.
Yeah, no, that's how it should be, but that's not how it always is, and especially an organization as big as Dallas.
Yeah, so one of the things going through the process, and I even told the city manager, I said, the great thing about bringing somebody from the outside in with my personality, I'm going to do my very best to promote those who deserve it, not based off of friendship, not based off of race, gender, or, an activity that we do that we like. I really need to put those around me who are really talented so we can move forward. So my goal is for us to be the best police department in the United States.
I know you touched on it a little bit, but when you're looking for characteristics of a good leader, what are some of them that are kind of deal breakers for you?
Look, Maya Angelou once said, it's not what you do, it's not what you say. It's how you make people feel. I need leaders who, when they walk in a room, everyone looks at them and know that they feel good about them being their leader. That's important. It's like, oh, well, how does that happen? A lot of times is the leader going to listen? Is he going to care? Will he have empathy? It's certain words that you want in a leader. And when you have that, everyone will get behind him. That one leader where you say, hey, man, I'll run through a wall for him. I had one guy, I was like, look, I remember I told him, I said, man, I'm not saying you're on crack, but you got some crack tendencies. But God darn it, I'll run through a wall for you, because he was a great leader. He'd come up with some of the craziest stuff sometimes. And you're like, man, we don't want to do that. But we'd run through a wall for him because we knew he had our back. We knew he was going to support us. We knew he was going to fight for the group, for what was right. He knew that we knew for a fact that if another group was working an investigation and we deserved to be working it, he was going to fight for us. He was going to be on our side. He was going to take care of us. And I run through a wall for the man to this day.
Speaking of getting FaceTime with the chief, that's why I have this show, to get as much as I want. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, it's not going to work. No. We can only do it on stage together.
What are your expectations of your leadership, though? What do you want out of your command staff?
To listen. Look, you have to listen. One of the things that is so important, it's one thing for all of us, the chief and 3 stars and 2 stars, to go in a room together and, oh man, we can solve all the DPD's problems. But if we're not listening to the officers tell us the real problems, we can't solve a goddamn thing. And I think sometimes when you start promoting through the ranks, you forget about talking to the ones who are actually doing the work, and you think you know it all. I don't know it all. What I'm looking for is for someone to bring me, say, a couple different scenarios, and then I make the final decision. But I want those scenarios to come from the patrol officers all the way up through. And that there, I think, helps when it comes to leadership of moving the department forward. Because when we're going to get better, it's going to come from the patrol officers. It's going to come from the detectives, because they're actually doing the work. They're the ones out there. I'm sitting on this 6th floor and I'm trying to do things from the 50,000 foot level, and I'm not on the ground. You have to be in contact with the ground to lead.
That's a unique perspective. I'm not used to hearing that too much, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, that's your guys out there doing the work are going to tell you what you need to do the job. They can't be the guys that haven't done it in 20 years. It's
like these cowboy hats. Every time I walk someplace, look, I'm not a cowboy hat guy. I wear it as from time to time to get a reaction. But it was important to a lot of the younger officers that they had the ability to wear cowboy hats. What harm is that going to do? And I know some of the older officers are like, hey, we don't want to be known as Fort Worth. What does that mean? If my younger officers want to wear them and have some senior guys that want to wear them, and it's going to make them happy, I'm trying to have a happy place here. I want people to want to come to work.
When you also, we're in the business of recruiting in this day and age, 2025, and that could be looked at, people that are on the fence of wanting to go somewhere, that could be some bait.
Let's give it to them.
Yeah.
Bring them over. Let's go.
Putting people in uncomfortable situations. You mentioned that the first time you came on. Some people will be uncomfortable.
Yeah, so you want to see how people are going to perform when they're in an uncomfortable situation. So if you're going to start yelling and screaming, you're probably not my type of person. I need you to not be too high when it's good, not be too low when it's bad. You gotta be in the middle. People want to follow those who remain calm.
What are some of your biggest surprises you've seen here at DPD since you got here?
First of all, the department's really good, and I knew that things were going well. You hear the outside, the crime's going down. So it was somewhat of a surprise when I first walked in and I said, wow, I don't have to fix anything that's really big. And at first I was like, golly, I really want to fix something that was really big. But it's the little things that needs tweaking. And so I'm trying to tweak all the way down and tweak as much as I can. But this is a damn good department. Oh, wait, can I say that on a podcast?
Yeah, you just did. Go ahead.
All right, well, I didn't know if you had to erase
this is Chief Go time with Chief Comeaux. Say what you want. The biggest surprise, though, is realize I remember you said that you got so many calls like the first week, and you're like, before you knew it, it was homicide. They already had the guy in custody like a matter of hours.
Yeah, those cameras. I was like, all right, explain this whole flock camera to. Wait a minute, what's that picture? Whoa, that picture's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And there was a suspect that was killing homeless people. And, man, they put him in custody really quick. And I remember I went out on the scene and I was all excited. And, man, I told so many people about that story.
I know. I heard it.
Yeah, it's great. But, it's fun to tell success stories about a department. It's fun for me to go out and talk about all the great things that are happening. And I feel like the Dallas Police Department was definitely lacking in that area. Dallas was not waving the flag enough for how many great things are done here.
That's something that you've really picked up. I mean, in the last few weeks, just through the social media and the emails and the posts about good arrest, it kind of came off a little bit weird at first because we weren't used to it. But the reaction that I've seen, not only from the officers, but from the community, has been a positive one.
Well, and the quotes are not from me. I'm like, hey, get the quotes all the way down the chain. Let's give everybody the recognition who's actually done the work. I'm not out there doing the work. I'm just giving you the ability to do the work. I want to highlight who's actually doing the work.
Well, the mission of this show is to highlight the many people from past and present that have put on that uniform, and they've done amazing work. We've got some amazing human beings that put on this uniform at all ranks.
Yeah, I just went to a retiree banquet, and I had a great time there. And met some really good DPD officers that really care about the department to this day.
They always will.
Yeah, 100%.
What have you enjoyed most since you've been here?
Just coming to work every freaking day, man. I'm smiling every day, and I walk in there, and I'm like, top of the morning, let's go. What we got to do? What's the day? Let's go.
In your command staff, you just recently, this is the first time we've ever had 3 stars on this department. And that's interesting. So you inherited that, and you come in, and then you made it permanent.
Yeah. So first of all, one thing, when it comes to leadership, you have the right leadership in place. I think it takes care of some of the problems. Mm-hmm. Because when you're not responsible for overloading too many people, you can keep your eye on the ball. You can see an officer spiraling out of control. You can see a problem that's going to happen, and you want to stop some of the problems. So I feel like the structure of the leadership right now is really good. I'm trying to work on getting a few civilian positions that would be considered, high rank. And I think that will also help the morale of the civilian employees, because it's so important that our civilian employees, our professional staff, also can see someone like them in leadership positions. So that's the next thing that I'm really working on.
I like it. Because the wellness unit, we deal with professional staff, and it's not just sworn that we help. And I know for a fact that will mean a lot to them if to see somebody they could aspire to be.
It's coming.
So I want to talk about some of the you've been here since April, and then we get a lot of highlights that we've done. I want to talk about Operation Justice Trail.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm a true believer. Anyone that has a felony warrant out there, you should be worried. You should be wondering if we're going to knock on your door at 6 a.m. Everyone out there with a felony warrant, I don't know how many people with felony warrants listen to this podcast, but if they are listening, they should be worried. But when you start looking at it, we were up to close to 300 arrests that was responsible for close to 1,600 arrests total in the past. That right there tells you those who have committed felonies multiple times and those who have warrants are the ones doing most of the damage out there. So I want us to be known as the most proactive police department in the United States. And by doing operations like this, it's showing how we're being proactive to keep everyone safe in Dallas. And we're going to continue to do programs like this over and over.
Speaking of influencing the numbers, I was just down in homicide yesterday, And I was talking to one of the detectives, and he was showing me the board. He says, we're way down. And I guess I did not realize that we were that far down.
Yeah, right now we're 49 under from where we were at this time last year. We're trending in the right direction.
Somebody let Newsom know about that?
I did.
I heard. I heard.
Yeah, my thing is, hey, let's put out the facts. Dallas is kicking butt. We're keeping everybody safe here in Dallas.
That's our goal.
It definitely is. Look, we still have areas we need to improve in, and we're going to work on those. But one thing that we're definitely doing is we're keeping everybody safe. Homicides are down. Vehicle fatalities are way down. And that's from the work that's happening in the field. There's no doubt about it.
That's a lot of arrest and a lot of impact offenders that are taken off the streets for our city. But there's also another, within that large ocean of suspects, there's also small ponds of a certain type of suspect that we've also targeted.
So I was working with the unit, the fugitive unit, and the U.S. Marshals, and we had a meeting, and I was like, what offender out there would make everyone happy if they go to jail? We came up with an area that would make a true impact in the city. And here's the thing, with who we're going after this month in August, even those who are incarcerated in jail will be happy to know that we're taking this felon off the street. And one of the things that we're utilizing right now is the CRT team. I was out going around to some of the stations, and the CRT team said, hey, Chief, we want to be a part of an operation. How can we be a part of it? And they've been a part of this operation for the last month. We were able to secure a bag of money from the U.S. Marshals to fund our CRT team going after these offenders. And so far we have 80 of them in custody. And I think everyone, even in jail, is going to be happy that we get them off the streets of Dallas.
The worst of the worst.
Yes, sir.
Another thing that I'm hearing whispers of, and you could talk about it as much or as little as you want to, is a new tactical narcotics team.
Yeah, look, I want everyone that's running search warrants to be very proficient. I want them to be good at what they do. I want them to focus on kicking down doors, taking people in custody at the highest rate of being safe, making sure that we go home every single night as a unit, as a team, and be able to train together on a regular basis. And I feel like if you're in a squad, you're a detective, you're working undercover, you're trying to put together a long-term conspiracy, you're trying to put together even a short case, sometimes tactics go out the window. You don't practice as much on tactics. So I feel like if we put together a team that's solely concentrating on conducting search warrants, kicking down doors, taking bad people into custody, I think it's going to keep us all safer.
You mentioned something before about leadership, and I'm gonna. This episode is putting a magnifying glass on your leadership style and your vision, and you just begun here in the DPD. You don't want us to be known as a one-trick pony here in Dallas PD. You talk about that?
Yeah, look, you have to touch different bases. And one of the things that, in order to get to the top, I feel like you have to be well-rounded. And if you only stay in one lane, how can you lead at the highest level? You have to know a little bit about everything, and you have to be good at most things. And oftentimes, especially when it comes to law enforcement, we get in one lane, and we just want to be really good in that one lane. But at that, should you be a sergeant, a lieutenant? If you're really good at it, major, then you start putting stars on. But if you only know one lane, how can you be really good as a leader if you have to move to another lane? So one of the things I need everyone to understand, and even with the last moves, some of the people that was moved and not promoted is because I'm watching. Some of them were moved because I think they're talented, but I wasn't 100% sure. So they were moved to a different division to see how they would perform for a possible promotion. But if you get mad and you go in a corner and you kick rocks, well, then you just X yourself when I was actually looking at you for a promotion. So if you want to take your ball and go in the corner and pout, I found out what I needed to know when I actually had you high on the list.
I love it. And I know, and there's a lot of people, I know anytime there's anybody promoted or moved, there's always disappointment. But like you said, you're watching, and you just got here and you just begun here in DPD.
Look, when it comes to leadership, you're a freaking major in the 9th largest police department in the United States. That's an accomplishment. Like, why be mad? And if you have to move to a different division to round yourself out, I wouldn't be mad. I'd go to the division and crush it. And my personality, I'd go to the division and crush it and then look at the chief and say, see, you should have promoted me. You see how good I just did?
Yeah. Their time will come.
It'll come if they deserve it.
If they deserve it. So I have one final question for you, and this is for all the people out there. We have a lot of officers that listen across the country and outside of the country. We have a lot of people that are considering this profession. What message do you want to give them that if they're on the fence about a department to pick to come work for, why should they come and work for Dallas PD?
Because we're going to be the most proactive police department in the United States. We're going to do what we need to do to keep everyone safe in Dallas, and it's going to be being proactive. We're not going to just sit back and respond to calls. We're going to figure out how to keep everybody safe by taking bad people off the street, by coming up with different operations to stop some of the crime from happening. And I think that's so important. Too many times we just sit back as police departments and we wait for the phone call to come in for us to respond. But if we get out there and we're being very proactive and putting bad people in jail, and that's from violent crime, that's from narcotics, people making ghost guns, we're going to build up our pool of informants with the Dallas Police Department. I think that's one area that we definitely need to improve in. We're not good at utilizing confidential sources. We're going to improve in that. And when you utilize confidential sources, you're being proactive. You're getting out there. You're stopping a lot of crimes before they happen. So if you're out there wanting to pick a police department and you want to have fun, come to a place where we're going to be proactive and put bad people in jail before they do bad things. You want to come with this cowboy hat, Dallas PD.